What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Let me see. I got my mic in front of me. Sometimes I got the thing over there. Man, today's the day. Today's the day. It's transfer portal day. It's kind of like it's like not really signing day, right? But it's the start of a new thing as the Texas Longhorns, and as we await to see what they do in the portal. We have activities that has already gotten started today. So look, what I need y'all to do before we get too much into it, go ahead and hit the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't. I've got all my transfer portal things set up right now. I'm just watching to see who's going into the portal. If you missed it, and to nobody's surprise, Micah Hudson has entered the transfer portal. We kind of knew that was probably going to happen. I mean, that's kind of Captain Obvious, right? That we knew Micah Hudson was going to go in the portal because he went to Texas A&M because allegedly, you can hear it from me. Rumor has it, sometimes the money gets funny. Sometimes the money's funny. And so at that point, Micah was like, oh, it's like that? Okay. Now I know it's a little bit of a different story than maybe you've heard, and it's okay. It's okay. We don't need the A&M fans to get in their feelings and come after me today. But nonetheless, Micah Hudson is there, which is interesting with him. By the way, I don't think Texas is interested. I've heard they have. Actually, I say I don't think. I know they are not interested in Micah. Hold on, the ADD side of me is kicking in. Okay, all right, then the ADD, another ADD. All right, perfect. Um, there's no interest necessarily for Texas in Micah. They feel like that ship has sailed. It's so funny how things change. Y'all remember when we were just tripping? It's just a couple of years ago. Like, how the hell did the Longhorns lose Micah Hudson to Texas Tech? I can't believe that. And we're like, there's no reason for him to be there. Why the hell is he at Texas Tech? And then it's almost like Micah it's almost like he doubled down. It's like, oh, y'all say I'm not supposed to be at Tech? But guess what? I'm going to Tech harder. And then he got there. He's like, man, why the hell am I at Texas Tech? And then he's out. He's out. So Micah Hudson has entered the transfer portal. If I was y'all, honestly, what I've done, I'm gonna give y'all a little secret sauce. I've actually just really what I've done is I've got all the rivals notifications to the portal that's there. In fact, I'll share my screen because why not? Let's see if I can do this and make this here. So I can just share y'all all the stuff. We can catch up on everything, and I can keep the stuff on the side. Okay, perfect, right? And so look, what we got to be on the lookout for. Let's be on the lookout for wide receivers, be on the lookout for tight ends, be on the lookout for defensive tackles. But at the end of the day, understand that Texas, when it's all said and done, they're going to just take talent if they can get it. So if there's an upgrade at the position, that's what they're going to go for. Like, for instance, I don't know, Branson Robinson moves the needle enough for them. But it looks like he's got, Clemson, North Carolina, Colorado, Miami. So I don't know if that moves the needle yet, but we'll find out what that kind of looks like. A guy like this, look for the guys when they go into the portal that have checked at least some boxes. Like right now, when you look at this one, it looks like a Marion Walker. It looks like, okay, well, he's played wide receiver and DB for the Wolverines. That's not really saying much. It's like I showed up. I showed up for work. That's not what you put on your evaluation, right? You put on, well, you got to do your self-evaluation for your job. You're supposed to say all good things. What you don't want them to say is you showed up for work. Probably not the best things to say when it's all said and done. I'm just going through to show y'all some of the guys who've gone in. Wow. Check this stat out. Over 30 West Virginia players have entered the transfer portal already. Dang. I'm learning this in real time. 30 West Virginia players? I've been to Morgantown. It's not that bad. it's not that bad. I mean, it's not that great, but 30. I mean, that's wild. Of course, Nico, of course, is officially in the portal. Did y'all see? We'll get to this in a second. Did you see like last night when it came to Nico that Tulane decided that they were going to tap out of the competition for him? Like Tulane decided, hey, we are good. We're not going to do this anymore. That's kind of funny. I try to see what else. But yeah, as relates to Nico, and again, this one here, this would be someone that I would say, okay, Texas doesn't need an edge guy. However, I would say, you know what? I'll bookmark that. I'll check into that after the show today. I'm just kind of going through here. We're all kind of catching up, in real time. I don't necessarily think Texas would say, okay, we need this offensive lineman. There's walk-ons who've announced as well. Then you saw that, I don't know if you guys saw this last night, but Cal running back Jaden Ott committed to Oklahoma yesterday. And he had pretty good stats when he was at Cal. Like he had a pretty good stats, but and it's a good get for Oklahoma. So don't get me wrong. From a stat standpoint, let me see if I have odd stats. If I can pull it up for you guys real quick. He was a former 2023 All-American, Pac-12 first team running back. So he's good for them because they need talent. They don't have a ton of it at Oklahoma. All right, that doesn't help. That's not helping me. Well, damn. All right. Well, I don't know what I did. I damn near froze my screen by doing that. But at the end of the day, they have so many other needs that I don't necessarily think they've got a stack. They also got an offensive lineman as well. Here it is. Yeah, Jake. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I don't want to butcher it. But again, so this is one of those. If you're a Nagy fan and you think to yourself, oh, I'm sold on Nagy and him as a scout, well, then this is where you got to hope for, if you're Oklahoma, that this is where it kind of pays off. But you get the Stanford offensive lineman. But and again, I don't know what a 3-star recruit in the class of 2022, what that really means. But those are kind of some of the early things that you kind of need to see. Some of the early stuff. There's not a ton of things here so far. I'm expecting things to kind of heat up a little bit more. Yeah, I don't think there's any. There's a couple of other guys. Now, I've heard some rumblings. I was talking to some people behind the scenes from a national perspective, so not necessarily at UT. But I was talking to people from a national perspective. I'm trying to see. There's nobody else that really moves the needle. Texas actually has had some walk-ons that actually have gone into the transfer portal as well. But what I was trying to say is that I've heard the names of guys that maybe Texas isn't necessarily, I don't know if they're interested in, but I've heard that there's supposed to be some big names that come about. One person told me to keep an eye, and again, this is from a national perspective. This wasn't anything local where I would say, oh man, like I know I've got this. But right now, I'll be quite honest with you. Like usually, I'm a straight shooter with y'all. Usually I'll tell you, hey, this is what I've heard. I'm telling you right now, this is what I'm thinking. All right. Does it make sense? A little bit of the difference. And so like in this case, I saw this article. And again, these are things I'm just bookmarking at this moment. This Wisconsin tight end kind of entering the portal, Tanner. And I don't know. Someone told me how to say his name yesterday. I'm going to jack it up. At the end of the day, here's all you need to know. The veteran tight end broke out as a junior at Ball State in 2024. catching 94 passes, 839 yards, and 8 touchdowns, 36 games of starting experience, 163 career receptions, 1,500 yards total, eight touchdowns. PFF rated him as the highest returning tight end for the 2025 season. Again, this one I don't know, but if this was Home Shopping Network or Amazon, or I can put it in my Amazon cart, right? if I can put this in my Amazon cart, I would absolutely put this in my Amazon cart as a guy that, at least on my wish list. How about that? If I can't put him in my cart, at least I will put him on my wish list. I'm going to have to ask some people about him behind the scenes, and I will. Don't worry about it. Just understand that the portal is just getting open. The portal is just getting started for us right now. And so there's a lot I'm excited about it, man, because I'm really looking forward to it. Again, a little bit of some guesswork. Also understand this as people go into the SEC. You may know this. I've mentioned this on the show before. But if you don't remember, understand that they're going to always try to make you guys the smartest. And of course, ladies, I mean that obviously, but everywhere I say guys collectively. You can't transfer from one SEC school to another in the spring portal window. So understand that. And I've seen people say stuff, then they'll say someone's leaving. They'll say, "Oh, we're probably gonna go to the SEC and get the bag." And it's like, nope, that's not going to happen. Like that's not what's on the table at this moment. They were able to do that. This is just a notification about Michael Hudson entering the portal, which we already kind of and oh boy ain't on campus. He's clearly going to be in the portal. I think we're okay. I think we can understand that fully. But yeah, so no, there's nothing as relates to transfer from one conference to another. They were able to do that in December. They cannot do that now. I know when I talked to people behind the scenes, they kind of felt a sense of relief. And really, from a Texas perspective, as the portal really officially opens today, is that most of the horses are in the barn as it relates to Texas. Majority of it is in the barn because they locked up most of their key players to NIL deals right after the season. The season got over. Excuse my English. I am from the South, so I am from Polk County, Florida. So you have to please excuse me. I've done the best that I could to clean myself up. But when the season ended, there you go. When the season ended, everybody had their hand out. And everybody's wallet was like mine. I only got $1. Okay, 21. I got a 20 in here? Oh, snap. We don't even carry money around. I was joking. I thought I only had $1 in here. I got 20. Oh, man. Well, there you go. It's like a surprise we got money in your wallet sometimes. And they're like, I got money? Where's that from? I don't even touch these things anymore, Everyone had their hands out. And so they had to really kind of take care and hunker down and take care of folk when the season ended so really in January, it was just one after another. But Texas was able to pretty much get all their guys done. So when you're going to see, there's going to be Texas players that go in there in the portal, I would be shocked if Texas lost any key guys. I would be really, really shocked if that happened. I think for the most part, you're just more looking at the acquisition portion of it more so than you are the retention portion. Like the retention portion, for what I've been told, the Green Lantern. I'm gonna let you hold it because you know what, Green Lantern, I didn't even know I had it, so I might as well. That's literally found money. Jersey Mike's, here I come. So they worked on the retention portion of it, and that's kind of one of the things I wanted to lead into because I asked Sark about that on Monday. I asked him about the whole retention thing because I told y'all this yesterday. I was trying to cook yesterday, but Spectrum didn't want to let me cook. But the point that I tried to make for those of you who missed the show yesterday was this. I tried to say at the end of the day, I know people get upset and they feel like I'm not getting enough playing time. And a lot of times players want to go somewhere else. And it doesn't work within the first year or so. And then so I'm out. And my thing was, at the end of the day, there's a part that I think there's something to be said for trusting the process. I understand wanting to go somewhere and play. I understand the impatient portion of it. That part I get. Everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to be a star. I got it. You came out of high school. You was that person. You was that man. You was that woman, coming out of high school. And when you respect the sports, you get here. Now all of a sudden you aren't. You want to go somewhere you can play. But my counter argument to that, to a certain degree, is that if Arch Manning can sit and wait, everybody can sit and wait. If that guy can say, you know what, I'm a 5-star, I'm a Manning, and I got to sit behind Quinn Ewers for another year, then I think other people can do it. I think another good example that I used, and I asked Sark the question, I used Trevor Goosby as a good example. That's a guy that, if he wanted to, could have just said, what the hell with this? Why am I going to sit here? I got Kelvin Banks in front of me on one side. I mean, I've got Cam on the other side. Man, where am I going to play? Oh, wow. Now they just brought in Brandon Baker. So they brought in somebody else to take my job. Man, the hell with this. I'm out. And a guy like Goosby said, nah, I'm okay. I'm going to keep staying here. I'm going to keep grinding. I'm going to believe in myself and go about that way, right? So there's something to be said, for saying, like, I'm just going to stick it through. So I asked Sark about the retention portion of what they were able to do and how they're able to sell it. And then there's going to be some follow-up questions that's all going to be transfer portal related that I think is really interesting for you guys to hear as we kind of get started. I think it's some really good information, especially, I understand you may see like the Sark press conference on like the YouTube channel or however they put it, right? And then you may say to yourself, man, I don't got time to watch all this. Don't worry about it. It's got you covered. I got something for you that I think is going to be really interesting, and I hope y'all enjoy.
With the portal opening this week, right? You've done a really good job of being able to preach, patience and trust in the process with a lot of guys. Like, how have you been able to do that? You have guys like Arch or Trevor who can be very impatient. How do you get all those guys to buy in to trust in the process?
Well, it's a lot easier now than it was early on. Now it's, we had 11 draft picks a year ago. We sent 14 guys to the combine this year. We'll see how many get drafted next week. And that it's not the product that you are today. It's the finished product of where you end up being. And I think when they can see images like themselves grow and have more and more success, it's a lot easier to trust that process. Early on, man, it was kind of selling vapor to them that wasn't even existing yet. And now I think them seeing the growth, I think even for a young tackle to see Christian Jones, from where he was when we got here to where he was when he ended, to watch the development of a Kelvin, a Cam Williams, to watch Jake Majors perform and work through. So different positions, obviously Arch watching Quinn, the running backs watching the running backs that have come through here now, for about the last 3 drafts or so. So I think it's across the board. Clearly the defensive linemen, it's been kind of 2 a year now, every year. And so it's easy for them to see of what it looks like. But again, everybody wants to have success. I think at the end of the day, and it's them understanding maybe sometimes why there isn't the immediate success, but that the success will come if you trust the process that we're putting in front of them.
Sark, you went to D.C. last week.
Yeah.
What did you hope to accomplish going up with some student athletes and fellow coaches? And what do you think you did accomplish speaking with coaches?
Yeah, I mean, I think something for me that is important. I love being a college football coach. I love watching these guys come in, develop, grow, have an experience, fail, grow some more, have some success, grow some more, fail again, grow some more. I'm just trying to be mindful of, I don't think any of us, and our student athletes included, I don't think any of them want to be employees, right? They don't want to feel like an employee. They want to feel like a student athlete. And I get NIL, and believe me, I want our players to be compensated in a way that's right and that's fair. But I also think, we're in a space right now where we don't have a lot of guardrails. We don't have a lot of regulation. And I think if we don't start doing some of this, if we don't start finding a way to get some guardrails around this, we're going to lose this idea of a student athlete, and we're going to start gravitating closer and closer and closer to an employment status. And I don't think any of us want that. And clearly we're seeing that now, because once we go to employment status, then are we talking about unions? Are we talking about CBAs? Are we talking about firing people? I don't think any of us want that. That's not why I got into this. I got into this to develop young people, young men to become men in society. And part of that is playing football and an opportunity to fulfill their dreams of playing in the NFL. Part of that is earning a degree. Part of that is learning life lessons that they can take with them in life. And so that was part of that visit. And I think it's, at the end of the day, there's so many different voices. There's so many different opinions. How can we start to corral those opinions and come to a common kind of idea and thought process that can we move forward with? Because it feels like sometimes right now we're taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back because of another lawsuit or something here and there. How do we get some parameters, some guardrails, so we can all move forward in a positive direction?
Steve, along those lines, though, we've got to ask you about your thoughts on Tennessee, and just what would you say if someone of a high priority player tried to...
I don't do hypotheticals. You guys know me better than that.
I can tell you that Sark doesn't do hypotheticals. Oh, I can tell you all about Sark and hypothetical questions. Oh, that was fun times. You cannot ask Steve Sarkisian a hypothetical question. He will not answer it. My question was not hypothetical last year. However, we had a pretty epic back and forth battle. Brian Davis tried to ask him a hypothetical question. Steve Sarkisian said, "Get that man out of here. Don't ask him hypotheticals."
Your thoughts on Tennessee, and just what would you say if someone of a high priority player tried to...
I don't do hypotheticals. You guys know me better than that. You want to ask about that one, or I don't do a hypothetical?
Okay. What do you feel about the Tennessee situation?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think it's a difficult one for...
It was so funny. He was like, if you ask me a real ass question, I'll answer it. But if you ask me this hypothetical BS, I ain't gonna answer it. You want to try? You want to try again? Which your reporting ass don't even know how to ask me a question.
And his family. It's a difficult one for Coach Heupel and Tennessee and what they're trying to do. Ultimately, we all only have so much money to operate within, and we're all trying to build a team, and that's one of the beautiful things about football. It's the ultimate team sport, and so when no different than if you're in the NFL. Sometimes when your hand gets forced and you only have so much money that you can allocate, what do you have to do what's best for the team. And I think Tennessee has made that decision from what I can tell. I haven't talked to Josh, but from what I can tell, and in Nico's camp and in their opinion, they're trying to do what's best for the young man. And so, but this is what we've created, right? We've created this environment that this was gonna come to a head at some point, and it was just a matter of which school was it going to happen with first. And so why were we in DC this week? This is a prime example to try to minimize some of these situations that just occurred.
And I didn't mean to ask it in a hypothetical way, but just, do you tell the guys?
You did ask it in a hypothetical way, but it was nice of him to try. All I had to say was like, "I apologize, Coach. I know you don't like hypotheticals. I should have learned my lesson from last year. Just ask the question. You didn't mean to ask in a hypothetical way. Okay, we accept your apology. Go ahead and get your
We're
follow-up
done.
in.
Go
Go
play
ahead.
football now.
Our situation is all, and so
I talked
why were
over
we
that.
in DC this week? This is a prime example to try to minimize some of these situations that just occurred.
And I didn't mean to ask it in a hypothetical way, but just do you tell the guys, hey, we're done. Go play football now?
Our situation is always evolving, right? I eventually have that meeting with our players. I don't think I'm at that space to have that meeting, right? I mean, we've got another portal window that's coming. Great idea by us. We've got another free agency window that's about to happen. And so I don't think I'm quite in that position to do that yet. But there will come a time we have that meeting where our focus has got to be on the right things if they want to play as good a football.
Oh, I got cut off. Oh, I got cut off at the end. I am cutting that comment. I do clown some of these guys. You know, it's funny. You know what? You know what you don't never really see me do? You know what you don't never really see me do? You don't really ever see me too much defend like our Austin media. And I know y'all don't really clown me as much. Y'all clown a lot of other people. There's a lot of other low-lying fluke. Every once in a while, yeah, I might get it from y'all, but for the most part, y'all kind of cool with me. It's just funny to hear people it's like me analyzing the questions being asked, and then it's funny when somebody else is getting some crap from Sark. Like Sark gives me crap, but like Sark's not like we all right. So it actually doesn't bother me. But when I see it get to other people, I'm like, oh, I know he don't like your ass. I don't know what it is. One day I gotta ask Sark, maybe at the SEC spring meetings, I'm gonna have to ask him, like, why does he not like hypothetical questions? I'm just wanna low key just ask him, why does he not like it? I'm fascinated, like what happened in his past when he gets triggered. He's like, that's a hypothetical. But nonetheless, y'all can see where Texas is at as we go into this thing again. As the portal opens today, there is, like I said, the 3 points of emphasis that if I'm you, as I'm looking at the portal, we're not, you're not looking at the portal, but you're getting your notifications and you're seeing the things that are going out. Look for experienced people who, some experience, who check the boxes. So don't look for, Texas is not at the diamonds in the rough stage, right? We are past that. Like we don't have to find no hidden gems. Like that's cool. That is for them. That's for the motherfucker. They can go out there and get that. They can go out there and go look at Ross. They can go out there to Burlington Coat Factory. Burlington Coat Factory. So that damn place it's like massive. It ain't only got but this many stuff. You know, it's funny. Last year it got cold, and I was like, oh man, I didn't get some coat. I'm gonna go to Burlington Coat Factory. I couldn't find a coat. I was like, what the hell is this? What the hell are y'all selling out here? Y'all got toys. Y'all ain't got coats. Like what's anyway? Those people go looking for those hidden gems. We are not at that point. We are really at that. I think Starks catches using this analogy. We more about that Neiman Marcus kind of thing. Give us that kind of proven commodity. Give us those things that are going to get Texas back to the semifinals. You got people who are not in the playoffs. We're not in the playoffs. That's why it's cool when y'all know we like to compare Texas and Oklahoma and A&M, right? Because they're rivals, right? It's a thing, right? It's a rivalry thing, right? But at the end of the day, the goals are different. The goals are different. I answered hypothetical paints you in a very let me see this. I want to read it. Hold on real quick. And I want to get back to my thought. He goes, Anthony, hypotheticals paint you into a very wide corner for any future situation, even remotely close to that hypothetical. Then the media could say, well, Sark, 2 years ago, you said this. That's true. That is true. That's actually a really astute observation by you. I actually 100% agree that. I can tell you that as a media member. Oh yeah, Freddie the Boys went in. I want to say over the weekend, or he should be going into the portal at some point. But yeah, that's what I want to get back to though. Is that when you look at Oklahoma, you say to yourself, okay, when they picked up a guy from Cal, it's like okay, picked up a good little running back, and they picked up some former 3-star from Stanford who's on the offensive line. It's like, all right, I mean, cool, that's good for y'all. But these guys aren't even sniffing the playoffs at this moment. Texas is trying to win a natty. Like, full stop. This is not about trying to get to the playoffs. Texas did that when it was a 4-team playoff just 2 years ago. They did it under the expanded playoffs last year. This thing ain't about let's find some dimes in the rough. That's why when you start talking about Jim Nagy versus Brandon Harris, the jobs are different. He's looking for diamonds in the rough. We are literally over here looking for diamonds. I'm talking about that cut, color, clarity. What is it? There's a couple other C's. Isn't another C in there? There's something. Carrots? Is that what it is? I don't know. I've bought enough rings in my life. I should know all that. But that's what Texas is looking for. So when you start looking at stuff in the portal, look for those guys who are going to come out who do meet those checks, who do meet those qualifications. Okay, by the way, hold on. I'm going to answer this one. Casey Macarita. Will Texas win at least one national championship before you die? Well, first of all, glad you asked it. Yes, because I'm not going to die before I'm 100. So my goal is I want to be 100 years old and they put me on the Today Show. When they put all the people over 100, I need to be, so that's my goal. This is serious. I'm literally serious. I've thought this out. So I want to make it to 100 so I could be on the Today Show where they put me up there and they're like, it turned 100 years old. There is Anwar Richardson down there and wherever I'm living at that point, right? Who the hell knows, right? He turned 100 today, right? But I'm not going to be in anybody's senior citizen's home or anything like that. I'm going to be sitting, have a drink in my hand, like in good health, right? So Texas, but so 50 years from now, 49 technically. My kid asked me, the numbers get higher. My son asked me, my 6-year-old, I have a 6-year-old. Yes, do the math, 51. I felt like I was kind of like, damn, I'm kind of an old father. Like I'm 51, I got a 6-year-old here in first grade. And Sark was like, don't worry about that, Alwar. I got you. I'm like, oh, snap. Okay, well, cool. I can give you my hand-me-downs, dude. I'll save my stuff. My son asked me, my 6-year-old, about a month or so ago. This is real talk. He said, Dad, I got a question for you. I was like, yeah, what's up, Titan? It's like, were the dinosaurs around when you were little? And I was like, yeah, Titan. I rode a Tyrannosaurus Rex to school. He's like, really? I said, no, the dinosaurs were not around when I was little. No, the dinosaurs were way before me, man. Like, no, I am not that old. I know I look old, but I don't look old, but I know you feel like I'm not that old, right? Like, son, he does this stuff to me, right? So then, like last week, he's like, hey, Dad, I may have asked you this before, but I was going to ask again. I was like, okay, what? He goes, were the dinosaurs around when you were little? I was like, you asked me that a month ago, and I told you that the dinosaurs were not around when I was little. No, I'm not that old. This dude is so fascinated by my age. Like, it's crazy. About a year or so ago, he was talking about, yeah, Dad, it's sometimes I get sad. I'm like, why do you get sad, Titan? Well, because you're old and you're probably going to die soon. I'm like, first of all, don't even put that out there in the atmosphere, dude. Like, where are you getting this from? Like, I am not that old. I'm in great health. I don't know why my kid, I know every kid thinks their parents are old, but I'm not that old, man. He don't realize it. He like thinks he literally thinks I'm like Moses. But hell, the dinosaurs before Moses. I don't even know how old he thinks I am. He does not. So he is a loving child, and sometimes he depresses the sugar honey iced tea out of me. Anyway, I don't know. That was just a random thing. I forgot where the hell my head was at. Titan is a trip, though. Titan is a trip. That's my dude right there, though. But he a trip. Anyway, he thinks I'm old as hell. That's it. Speaking of, well, I guess my old ass needs to get down to UT because we have media availability. So let me go ahead and get. Well, damn, I was going to joke about an AARP card, but I actually do have one. You get a lot of discounts. And not gonna lie, and did you know you don't have to be over 50 years old to get an AARP card? You can get that at any time. I know it sounds like an ad, but you can be in your 20s and actually get like an AARP card. I don't think you get all the benefits, but you can actually get your discounts now. You don't actually have to wait until you're 50. I do have my AARP card, and it is kind of badass. I ain't gonna lie. I do use it. Maybe I am old. I don't know. I don't like where the hell this show is headed. I'm getting the hell out of here. Let me stay like it was your last, because one day it will be. Apparently, my kid thinks today is my last day. Joke's on him. Only the good die young. So I'll be around for a long time. Thank you, Casey. You took me down a rabbit hole that I did not expect to go into, but here we are. My therapy session is over. I got more work to do. Let me get my old ass out of here.